Action.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 2025 garden of the mustard family. I'm going to show you everything including weeds this time, but I'm very happy how it turned out even with its flaws. So Joe's going to pan the area and show you the garden. We'll start with the front. Come over this way, sweetie. And Joe, if you would just pan from the front, in front of the house, we have, this is my favorite section too. This is what I used to call Jewel's garden because a lot of the plants came from her and from Jackie. So this year the daylilies have really bloomed all at one time actually. So we have an abundance of color. And you can see the different, the dark maroon, the red. The red ones are from Mom's garden. The maroon ones and the light maroon and the yellow are from a friend from where I worked. Her mother was a gardener and she gave me those daylilies. And then we have the hostas that were from Mom's, and none of the weeds were from Mom's though. I have to say those are our own weeds. And then as you pan over to the right here, you'll see the sunflowers, which are volunteers. They're the seeds that drop down from the feeders and grew. And so I'm really surprised at how tall they are and how abundant the blooms are on those sunflowers. So I'm just broadcasting sunflower seeds with other locations too. And then as we go down, that's the flag irises, which I tried to cut back, but they came back. But anyway, we have more daylilies, and then all the Shasta daisies are from Jackie and Rogers. Original plants that were given to us. And in between are some daylilies. The daylilies have not been eaten by the deer this year, which is wonderful because now I can see the blooms. So we have hydrangeas in the back, but they don't bloom. They're only 30 years old and they never bloom. But anyway, it's a nice green backdrop. And then, of course, the daisies. And then for you over here, just keep panning. Bill has his squash, which I haven't seen any blooms either, sweeties. I don't know if they're male or female. But they're good sized plants though. Among the weeds. We've got a good collection of weeds there too. And then over here, I think this is the Pinky Winky hydrangea that I brought from the Cape, from Walcoyot Nursery. But anyway, it's really developed nicely. The deer chomp on it sometimes, but I put stuff out, and anyway, it's growing nicely, and you can see it's just starting to bloom. It's actually fragrant. I didn't realize it. So it's going to get hints of pink as it blooms into fall, and then once it gets into September, it'll get like a pinkish look to it. Everything. So that's kind of neat. I'm very happy that that's taken off. And then over here, of course, is the hardy hibiscus, which I just can't wait. It's grown so big. It's a burgundy red, huge dinner plate size blooms on it, and they're going to be blooming shortly. And I'm happy to say that the daylilies that I put out decades ago are actually blooming and not being eaten by the deer. So I'm happy that I'm getting to see some of the daylilies. These are actually, again, came from Mom's house on Clay Pond Road. Along the fence there, those are the descendants of her daylilies. They're really pretty. And then down here I have some maroon ones, which I picked up. I don't know where I picked them up actually. I think it was from one of the catalogs. That maroon daylily, which is a pretty one. And that is the first year I've seen it bloom here and survive the deer population. So this is, like I said, these I'll send pictures. This plant, once it starts blooming, is just incredible. Absolutely. And it blooms twice. It'll have a rest for a month, and then if we get warm weather in September, it'll start to rebloom. So if I keep the blooms off and keep it from, going dormant, it'll continue to bloom through the fall and everything. But that is such a beautiful plant. Okay, so we go over here, sweetie, to the trailer garden. Okay, we're now in the section where the trailer garden is, named after our old 25-foot trailer. And this is a garden I intended to have all mammoth sunflowers, but the sunflower seeds got eaten right away, except for that one. So that one's coming up, and then I did sprinkle some more seeds from the bird feeder here recently. But anyway, the marigolds are really taking off. Normally I don't really think of putting marigolds out, but I actually like the effect now and everything. So probably next year more. So anyway, Joe's going to pan down. You'll see I am so pleased with this garden. The daylilies which surround it, I alternated it daylily, hostas, daylily, and of course the hostas are pretty much gone because the deer ate them over the years. But anyway, the daylilies have really are prolific this year. And so we have, as Joe says, the weed garden. We have the Shasta daisies, the I don't even know what, I think it's Rebecca, the yellow ones, the butterfly weed plant, blazing stars, or this is sneezewood, which is a native plant. I'm going to be pulling it up because it's going to go to seed and I don't want more, but it's a pest. But we have cleomes that are volunteers that came in from last year. And then the coneflowers. I only had, I think it was one coneflower over there, and it's seeded. So now I have 3 or 4, and it's great. And there are other plants hidden. Of course, there's weeds down here. The Monarda, I put one plant, and then it spread. So you see the red Monarda, and I kept it in intentionally for the butterflies. And then you can't see them right now because it's too hot out. But you have, what's that plant called? Anyway, Jackie knows what they are. I always get them, can't remember them. Anyway, that plant. The white coneflower, and a stilby, which is flowered a little. And then there's a red yarrow, which I bought a couple years ago. I do have a purple or lavender Monarda over there, which I had forgotten that I bought. That came back. And what I like is the whole effect, and Joe would get it, the whole effect of just being surrounded by daylilies. And I just love this color, this burnt orange. And again, this is from Mom's garden too. And then, over here, one little hostas that actually is live. But here we have Queen Anne's lace. This is a volunteer that came in, and I kept it in because I was hoping it was Queen Anne's lace. And that is, it's actually fragrant. Oh, man. So that's such a beautiful effect and everything. And I'm sure there are other plants in here that I was hoping there was a helenium that was here last year, but I don't know where it is. I may have pulled it up by mistake. And of course we have that bindweed, which we had a lot of rain, so the bindweed is everywhere. It's grown. Got to break that off and everything. But I'm happy because it's a natural garden. And here's the lavender Monarda. Isn't that pretty? And everything. And then some little dash of weeds there. And then some more stilbies, or blazing stars, which are, prairie plants. And of course more of the cleomes. But up here, and here's another coneflower that's coming up, and I think it's probably going to be purple or pink, whatever they call that fuchsia color. But I was surprised. I wasn't expecting those plants. And I think I have, there's the orange butterfly, the butterfly weed. And there's a yellow one here, but it already went to seed. And I think you'll see the pods are starting to form. So there'll be more of them next year. And then my favorite, I'm so excited, the milkweed. And there's one little bloom on it. Sweetie, look at that, a bloom. The monarch butterflies are gonna love it. Incredible. So I'm very pleased with that. So hopefully I won't dig it up next year by mistake. How that goes. But anyway, that's the trailer garden. Imagine 2 months ago, everything was just starting to come up 3 months ago, and it looked very bare. And now I look at it and I go, wow, it's just, some people might say that it's disorganized. I say that it's a very natural setting that you'd see in the prairie. And I'm very happy the way it worked out, considering that it was not good soil at one time and everything like that here. And it's just I think it's just, you know, attractive. And then you'll see the decorative grasses that we got from our neighbor, which have taken off. And those are only, what is it, 5 years old, I think? Something like that. Yeah, 5 years since we planted them. And they're huge. The tomato garden and the blueberry patch. I picked quite a few blueberries so far. Of course, the birds have probably picked half of them for us. But we thought we weren't going to have much success with tomatoes this year. They started out looking very bad. But through a little bit of fertilizing and a lot more rain, and here's that bindweed, they really look nice right now. And hopefully they'll continue to produce. So we have, what, 4 different varieties, I think, of tomatoes here. I have no idea which is which unless I see the fruit. But anyway, they're looking pretty good. And so we're very happy about that. We might be able to freeze quite a few tomatoes. Now Joe will show in a minute. And then back, I tried grow bags this year. And I have, back in the corner there, I don't know if Joe can get it, but I have potatoes, yellow potatoes or golden potatoes in grow bags, and they've grown nicely. Have no idea how many potatoes they're producing or anything, but at least they made it that far. They bloomed and everything, and so they seem to be doing all right. And then over here I have some carrots, which on a lark, because I had more grow bags than I needed, we decided to put out some carrot seeds and see what that would look like. So that's just actually I don't even know if the deer, I guess they don't like them because they haven't eaten them yet, the plants. So that's good and everything. So I'll be harvesting, I'm in my 2nd week of collecting blueberries. I call it blueberry hunting. And last night I got about 3 pints off of these, and I'm sure the birds have eaten that same amount today. But if I keep up with it, there aren't that many that are ripe when they get out here, so they get a little discouraged and everything. But it's fun. I like doing that. Okay, this is where I started daylilies. Again, the original plants came from Mom. So these are all descendants of a handful of plants that I took from Clay Pond Road. And in the years they've grown and filled in, and I've taken out some and relocated. This year I put Asiatic lilies. Luckily the deer didn't get them because I put Rappel down. So anyway, I do have some Asiatic lilies coming up. Other things have come in to them. There's some ferns that came in by bird, and other weeds that have come in that I'm trying to control and everything. But anyway, the daylilies have done wonderful. As you can see, they're very prolific this year. And the spiderworts, that's the name. Jackie and Roger gave us some spiderworts, just the little plants, but they're wonderful. They're really prolific, and you can see that they're healthy looking. And of course, they're out when it's cooler out. And then Joe will show. I don't know if you want to go in there. You can just show it, sweetie. There's more garden. We have more blueberries, which aren't in the best of shape, but we're going to cut them down a little and to prune them to make them healthier. And then we have more tomatoes over there. We cleared out the area and put more tomatoes, and I have more grow bags with different vegetables. Like I have some eggplant, I think it's Japanese eggplant. I have some collards in there, a couple, I think 1 or 2 peppers, whatever, just to see how they grow and everything like that. But the tomatoes are actually doing quite well. Garden that always was a problem garden, but anyway, over the years I've gotten more stuff in it, and again this year it's turned out the best it has in years because I controlled the weeds. So we have the Monarda's almost past now, but anyway, Monarda's a big patch of Monarda, and there are daylilies. First time those have ever bloomed in like 15 years because the deer haven't gotten them. So anyway, daylilies from years ago, and then I've got over there the astilbes that I put out 3 years ago, and they're a good size now, so they're blooming. And my ongoing control of that iris, because I put the iris, the yellow irises out there when I first got them from Jackie, and they took over and everything. But anyway, it has a nice look to it. And of course the coleus in the front, I wasn't going to get them this year, but then I of course broke down and got some because I love the look and everything. I can see the vine weeds over there too, as always. But anyway, at one time it was full of a lot of weeds. So it's shaping up somewhat. Of course, it's got that natural look and everything. And then we have more tomatoes here, and you can actually see these are the Juliets. They're a plum tomato, and they've formed as a batch, a group of them down there. And these tomatoes are fantastic because they're very meaty, very little water, so you get a lot of meat to them and everything. And I think this one might be is a, what is it, a grape tomato or something like that. Small tomatoes. Side of the world. We cut down the oak trees, 3 years ago, and we've gotten more light, so things have grown better. And plus, I put down rappels so the deer wouldn't eat the flowers. So anyway, I'm so happy that the Monarda survived this year. They've really taken off and grown, and the daylilies down there, which usually aren't there at all because they disappear as soon as they come up, the deer are staying away from them. So it's what I'm trying to do is to create an environment, which we've seen for the hummingbirds, because we do see the hummingbirds coming to those plants and feeding off of them and everything. And it's just, creating another natural environment. The birds and so on, and the snakes and everything. So anyway, that is the garden. You get a glimpse of what we've been doing this spring and into summer, and enjoying it immensely, and going to continue to pull weeds and fight the bugs, as I say. I hope you enjoy this video because I want you guys to see it, and you'll see that how much pleasure the gardens bring to us. So anyway, take care. Love you.